Do you struggle with procrastination? I certainly do. Sometimes I'm playing with the spaniels, sometimes I'm scrolling on social media, whatever it might be, and I'm wasting a lot of time. Or I'm worrying about exactly what I should be doing to create my goal in the future. And there's some really useful tools that I've found, which I want to share with you, on how you can become a time warrior and improve your productivity by a factor of 10. And it's ironic that I'm making this video for the second or third time, not because of procrastination, but because I screwed up a few things, or I wasn't doing it, didn't do it perfectly. Maybe the microphone was ruffled, maybe the dog jumped on me, that probably ruffled the mic, and it's not the perfect video anymore. I wasn't planning on having the special jump on me now, but here she is. So the first thing I want to talk about is this idea of non-linear thinking. Okay, so non-linear thinking is if you get inspired action or you get a task to respond to. When I mean inspired action, I mean like intuition. You do it. You do it right now. And if right now is impossible because of, requires more thinking, or it's a bigger task than being able to respond right now, then you create time for it. You place it out of your mind and you put it onto the calendar to be done, so you don't keep worrying about it. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is because usually in my coaching sessions, there tends to be a theme that emerges, and the theme of this particular coaching session was procrastination. And I'd given this client a task a month ago to write to his wife with a love note or a note of appreciation. And he hadn't done it. Next time he came back, next time he came back, well, he hadn't done it, right? So we dug into it, and we dug in. It wasn't just that he was procrastinating, it was other things. And I asked him, I said, how long have you been thinking about doing this for? How many times have you thought the process of doing this? And it, said 10, 20 times. So 10, 20 times he's thought about it. 10, 20 times he's worried about the fact he hasn't done it. 10, 20 times he's worried about what the outcome could be of writing that note and giving it to his other half, because it's not something they ever do normally. He created a story in his mind about what could happen, and the longer it went on, the bigger the story got and the more time that was wasted by thinking about the story. So we did it right there and then, and it took about 3 minutes, 5 minutes tops, for the letter to be written. I think a second draft was written in 5 minutes, and he had the letter, and he's done it, given it to his other half. 5 minutes. He wasted so much time thinking about that. Okay? So non-linear thinking is you either do it there and then when you are inspired to do it, or you need to do it. Maybe you've received a text message and you need to reply. It's about being in the moment, because if you're doing something else and then you receive this text message and you're like, oh, I must reply to that, now it's taking up mental bandwidth. Now you're not really in the moment doing the thing that you were doing. Just do it there and then. And if it's not appropriate, you should have enough time to put it into your calendar to do later. This is going to take practice. I am still not perfect at it, but perfect isn't what we're aiming for, remember. We're aiming for progress. Progress, not perfection. Why this is so important is because you've got to claim back your time so you can get on with other things. So you can get on with your health and fitness training. Okay, what's the number one reason people don't do their health and fitness? I haven't got time. Well, here's how you create time. What's the reason you haven't written the love note to your wife? Because I don't have time. Well, now you have time. Okay? What's the reason you didn't do the meditation practice? Didn't have time. Take back control of your time. Non-linear thinking is the first tool. Second tool that's going to be really useful is understanding the stories that you're creating. And, you know, going back to this idea of nonlinear time management, when the problem with creating long to-do lists is that it puts it all into the future for you. You are then fear-based again. You're then thinking about, oh, if I don't get that done, then I'm going to be what something's going to happen, and it's a fear-based problem. So we're just living our whole lives in fear. And a lot of people think that they just need somebody to crank up the fear. You know, we spoke about this with this client. Was he used to think that he wanted me to just have a go at him when he hadn't done the thing. But that's not what he wanted. Really, that's not accountability. That's just me giving him a hard time. Even if he wants me to give him a hard time, it might work for a little while, but it doesn't work in the long term. In the long term, he just ends up resenting me and hating me, and I end up hating myself because I don't really enjoy doing that. Far better that we have this conversation about true accountability. True accountability, which is when you don't do something that you said you were going to do, you make sure you commit to it and do it again. That's accountability. Rather than having this long to-do list of all the shit that you should do in the future, and then being so worried about your future that you miss the present moment altogether. Okay? So you're so worried about your future, you're so worried about creating those goals and achieving those goals, and what will happen if you don't, and how come you're not achieving them, and blah blah blah, that you're not doing what you should be doing right this fucking moment. Which, if you're watching this video, is watching this video, not texting, not playing a game, not half-ass watching it. Like, truly watch it and make notes. Not for me. You're not doing this for me, you're doing this for you. Because if you take on this idea in this video, you will achieve so much more of your time, and then you will never be able to say that you didn't have time for your fitness. You didn't have time to call the client. Because you thought that calling the client, you either called the client or you put it in the diary to call them at a time. Now, this idea is not foolproof. It's going to take some practice. But this is the number one time management tool that you can use to claim back your time and become a time warrior. Okay, thanks for watching. And what I want you to do immediately after this video is just take a moment to reflect on it. Make a comment in the comments section below on what you've taken away. Don't procrastinate on this. Okay? Don't wait. Just, what do you think? Get it down there. Don't go, oh, I'll comment to Ben later. No, just do it right now. So I know that you've watched the video and I know what you've taken from it. Even better, like, share your notes below so somebody else can reread it and read it from a different perspective. And maybe you put a story in there which helps highlight where this was useful for you, and then it will spread and it will be useful for somebody else. The other thing I want you to do is share this video with somebody who needs it. Somebody who's always procrastinating. And if they use this method, then perhaps they would get a shit ton more done in their life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.